All right, guys, we're reacting to another cozy video today. This one is not going to be future heroes. This one's going to be the best heroes for season 2.5. Really curious on some of his takes on this. I know I'm going to have my own opinions on a couple of these, but it looks like we're going to be starting off with the Vanguard takes. I've skipped a little bit of his intro here so that the video is not going to be too long. See if we can get this done in one shot instead of doing another two-parter like we did with the last video. So let's go ahead and dive on in and see what he has to say about Vanguards.
At the forefront of the latest patch, they got hit the most in regards to nerfs, which is...
Now, if the main one he's going to be talking about here is going to be good old Strange, I agree. Doctor Strange is in a really good place this season. Definitely highly recommend picking him back up if you haven't already. I played him a little bit already, and he is in a really good spot this season.
Definitely aim to shake things up a little bit. All right, guys, first up, let's talk Doctor Strange. Now, the devs did make it aware that they want to make shield tanks kind of back to the forefront. We have Groot and Emma Frost going...
Groot got hit pretty hard by the nerfs. Groot still seems like he's in a good place, but he did get hit pretty hard by the nerfs, so... I haven't played him a lot, but his walls seem to be going down a lot faster now. And it doesn't seem like he's getting walls out quite as frequently. I'd have to look back over the patch notes for Groot, but Groot's not as frustrating to play against. I think he's probably still in a good place, but he's definitely not the same presence he was before.
Down in viability a little bit, and Doctor Strange, let's not forget, got a big survivability buff, and now we've got the damage back. We've got no fall off on his pop. We've got a little bit of a better primary. Let the Eye of Agamotto's fly, and with all that being said,
I really like the range extension on his E or his expelling the dark magic stuff, that healing debuff. The range increase on that is really, really nice, because that was you had to be like point blank to land that before, so I'm happy with that change.
In season 2, he was still good. He's got a good kit and a strong foundation, but now he has that missing link that we had in season 0, 1, and 1.5. Not to mention, you've got the killer team up with Scarlet Witch, which is obviously going to be used plenty. Altogether, guys, I think that...
You know, hot take, I don't really like that team up. As somebody that's played a lot of Scarlet Witch, I'm not a huge fan of that team up. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. It puts out a lot of damage, but it strays so much from what her kit is. Like, it makes her, it's good for getting rid of tanks. It's good for pushing the line, but she's not really a character for pushing the line. She kind of plays like a little bit off angle, in my opinion. I like to play her off angle, so that team up's not all that in a bag of chips for me.
Doc is back. I think he's going to be good to really help out against what is going to be a very poke, but also just ammo barraging comps that you're going to go up against, especially low elo, but you're going to see it in high. All right, next up, guys, we have Penny Parker. And
so I definitely agree with the Strange pick. I need to get some time on Penny with all the changes with the Rocket team up and stuff. The Rocket team up, it feels good. Like, honestly, that team up feels good. It feels like, I know that they probably don't have any time in comic books together, but they mesh really well together as far as that team up goes. So I do like that team up, like the vibes of that team up and everything. And it gives Rocket some survivability that he didn't necessarily have after the shift changes. So I'm curious to get some more time in on Penny, but I probably have to agree with this pick that Penny's probably in a really good spot this season too.
And Penny,
especially in lower elo,
is going to be kind of in the same place that she was, but a little bit better. And let me elaborate. First of all, at the highest echelons of elo, she's still not going to be the top meta pick, but she got some awesome boosts that we just can't ignore. And mainly that being the strongest part of her kit, her spider nest. She's got 2 of them, and Rocket Raccoon is not a very hard requirement of a team-up anchor to get in your match, and so I think you're going to get that plenty of the time. And so she's going to dominate on those matchups and in those points like the Wakanda map and Clintar, where she just is awesome at being that bunker Vanguard that she is in Rivals.
I've ran into some people that started playing Penny recently. I didn't realize that she heals when she's on her webs. If you're planning on picking up Penny, just so you know, if you stand on your webs, you heal. That includes the ones you put down with your little F, your little like mobility skill. Those also heal you. So try to stack up webs in different places and move between webs to keep your healing up. It really helps you stay alive.
two of them allows you to cover such a large space. On top of that, it helps you cover certain areas to protect your supports against what could be a dive comp, but then also that front line. For the most part, guys, she's going to do what she does right now, but even better, and that's got me pumped because she just got all those changes in Season 2, and somehow she's feasting even more. All right, we move on to Magneto. All right, Groot.
So, Magneto's a solid tank. I don't think he's in a bad place. I don't think he was in a bad place last season. He's not really, as far as I can tell, a tank or a pressure tank. I mean, Emma can kind of be more of a pressure tank, but I feel like Magneto, Strange, and Emma all kind of fill the same role. So you end up stacking two tanks to get that team up that are providing the same kind of tanking role. And not like something like having a Venom or a Hulk or a Cap to kind of dive, or somebody like a Penny or a Thor to kind of apply off-angle pressure, or a Thing to apply frontline or off-angle pressure. So it's kind of weird. I'm not a big fan of that team up, just like I wasn't a big fan of a couple of the other team ups where you're like double dipping into the same stat pools or the same role, kind of same subsection of the role. Like the whole team up with Black Widow and Hawkeye, that team up made sense in comic books and like the movies and stuff, but it didn't make a lot of sense in the fact that why would you want two snipers for your two DPS picks? So that's kind of the same thing with the Emma Magneto thing. It's like, could we have some tank diversity in that team up?
Emma Frost and Magneto were the top three Vanguards by a good amount last season. And well, guess what? They nerfed two of them, and Magneto got a buff. Now, was it a significant buff? Yes, it was. He's going to have his alt fire that much more, and he's already a staple and great pick.
I didn't think it was his alt fire that got increased. I thought it was his right click that got its cooldown decreased, which was good. His right click's good, so he's more pressure. He was kind of like the lowest, I think, pressure tank of... Well, no. It was Strange there last season. But, like, Emma applied more pressure as a front tank than Mags and Strange, but now Strange and Mags are kind of put closer to her level now.
Both in high elo, low elo, and I think he's one of the best to kind of solo carry and make up for what could be a bad team. I don't know if you've come across that yourself. The dude can do it all, right? You've got a support on their team.
His ultimate's really good to counter Starlord too, and Starlord's changes with his ult this season are ridiculous.
Billion Luna players are Cloak and Dagger, and they're doing their ultimate. Bam! You throw a purple ball and they're dead. You've got high survivability, great poke damage. You're able to combo and kill 250 HP heroes, but you're going to do more often because of the buff. I feel like if you don't know what Vanguard to play, just play Magneto. He's simple by design, but he offers so much for the team, and you just can't pass him up. Now, again, the majority of Vanguards are playable. I think Venom is in a tough spot, losing.
Dude. Okay, my thoughts on the Venom right now. If you like Venom, he's not a bad tank. He's a good dive. He's still a good dive tank. Even if this isn't dive meta, he's still useful in the back line. For the love of God, if you're picking him and you're the only tank, you gotta do something on the front. You can't just constantly dive with him and hope that your DPS and supports can hold line. It doesn't work, guys. Please, for the love of God. Venom can kind of stay active on a front. Not as good as some other characters, but he's relatively good at staying on as a frontline tank. Like, he can frontline a little bit. I can understand him pulling out and going back in, to wait for cooldowns and stuff. But, like, I've had so many matches this season already while I was trying to work on getting my Ultron to Lord that I've had the Venom just completely play backline. Like, he was role-playing Spider-Man when he was the solo tank. Like, it doesn't work, guys.
That Spider-Man team up, he's got the Jeff one, but either way, that's where he kind of wanted to be. But Emma Frost got nerfed, but she also got a buff to her primary. And honestly, I think Emma was just fine, and now...
Okay, so this is going to probably be a hot take for people that think that the nerf was unfounded. A lot of low elo Emmas were using her diamond form instead of as a defensive cooldown or something like that, using it as a completely offensive cooldown. It's good for defense. It's also good to counter somebody that overextends. but it wasn't getting used the way it was intended to. That's why there was the big change. The idea was to punish people for pushing too hard into Emma's territory, not for her to take ground. Her beam is the idea to take ground. Keeping that beam at 100% is really, really good for her applying pressure and taking step by step. Like she was a tank that was very, very capable of taking ground without using the diamond form, but the diamond form was being used very aggro and being used very much so to almost turn her into a dive tank. So I actually like the changes. The other thing I've seen with some higher elo Emma players is using it to save your charge on your primary fire so that it doesn't reset all the way back down to 0 while you're waiting for a frontline reset or whatever.
She's fine, right? She's good. She's going to be great for this season. Her diamond form got a little weaker.
See you looking cozy.
And altogether, though, you're able to just feast in what is a ridiculous primary beam to the face over and over. If you don't know, just build that sucker up, diamond, and try to execute when necessary. Again, guys, we're going to have shields everywhere this season, right? Doctor Strange, we got Magneto, but you can't farm off that. And then flyers as well, so you can charge up the beam from the shields, and then you can punish the flyers with that little bit of extra range buff that you did.
I really like the range buff on her. That's going to be really helpful with the high concentration of flyers this meta.
And not to mention her ultimate is still great. Her entire kit is going to offer plenty for the teams, and I think she's still a great hero that's a lot simpler to use than you might think. Now, last but not least, guys, we've got Groot. Now, we close things off in the Vanguard section with the tree, and guys, you're going to have flyers all over, so you're going to have to deal with that, but Groot still does what he does well, just a little bit worse. Is it the best season to learn him? Probably not, but you can still block off Strategist.
Definitely not the best. If you don't already know how to play Groot, he's going to be hard to get used to playing with all the changes. He's a little bit less noob friendly. He's always been a little less noob friendly of a tank, but especially now with the changes to his cooldowns and survivability of the walls, I think he is going to be a little bit harder to play. And a little bit harder to pick up as a newer Vanguard. I'll definitely have to agree with Cozy on that.
Heals, you can make people uncomfortable if they're overextending, and you've got the ultimate for those group kills. And so Groot is still going to be seen.
His ultimate is still ridiculous, by the way. That ultimate pairs so well with Ultron's ult. You can burn down an entire team that gets like if he lands an entire team in the Groot ult, Ultron can clean that entire pickup with his ultimate. And Ultron gets his ultimate so fast. So I think Groot's actually in a really good place this season because of that. Like, there's a lot more people that can play off of his ult now with Ultron, and not necessarily a pick that's another ultimate, but Hawkeye's team up with Luna also plays really well with that, freezing everybody in place. So you can kind of extend that CC because of the pierce on it.
Plenty within the meta. In fact, maybe even more because he won't be banned as much. He still is going to be banned, though. I think Groot is a very...
He is still banned. Can confirm he is still banned in my rank. Him and Spider-Man both were getting banned in my rank.
Strong hero by design, and what he offers other tanks simply can't. And so Groot is going to be in a fine place this season, especially looking at some of the tanks down bad. Captain America, Thor, rest in peace, brothers.
Hot take, I like the Thor changes. Fight me.
But I'm going to level with you guys.
And Cap still is hard to kill.
I'm just not going to be shocked in the slightest if Groot is he's still completely fine and still very strong. All right, guys, next up we go to the Duelist, and we kick things...
Let's keep going.
Off with Black Panther, guys. Listen, the king of...
Okay, of all the dives that got nerfs, why did he get any changes? Can somebody answer me this?
I can't even get through it, guys. Why do they hate this guy so much, man? I wouldn't play him. Instead, we actually kick things off with the Punisher. Now, listen.
Okay, if you're used to Punisher with the rocket combo, you shouldn't be worried one bit. This guy's way meaner than he was before.
Guys, I don't know what to say. I am not exactly the biggest Punisher fan, right? The higher you get in rank, kind of the worse Punisher got. And although he is losing the Rocket Raccoon team up, which is a big deal, that infinite ammo, man, that thing, it cooks. Let me tell you, it isn't that big of a deal because of what they...
You guys totally get to see my avatar do weird stuff when I take drinks and stuff.
gave him. With him now being an anchor and getting damage, more health, more ammo that hits harder, everything about him, his ultimate moves faster. Punisher now is that Call of Duty wrapped into just a package for Marvel rivals, and I think he's going to be
He's definitely probably the most beginner-friendly to hero shooters duelist to play. Like, if you're coming from other shooters, he's going to be a great duelist to play. He already was, but now you don't have to rely on the team up or anything. So you Call of Duty people that don't want to do team play, there you go, buddy. Punisher's all yours.
Great answer to what should be, again, a fly-heavy meta. You can have Ultron, Storm, Human Torches, Iron Mans. It's going to be literally bugs everywhere, and you're going to be able to take them down with Punisher pretty easily. I think Punisher was already a very good hero who falls off the later you get, and why play him when you can play Hela at high ranks. But now, not only in low elo, which is where he shined, in high elo, I think he's going to have a much better chance to really produce. I played with him a fair amount when I had early access to this build, and I don't know what to say. That extra ammo is just enough to start killing people that you would have to then reload typically with. All right, now this next one it's not exactly aimed towards high elo players, but more of you
What is this Scarlet?
Diamond and below, but you can play her at high elo too, and that's Scarlet Witch. Now we're going to talk about a couple heroes today that, again, you might be at your rank.
You know, I liked Scarlet last season. I don't necessarily care for her team up. Her team up gives her, I guess, more flexibility in how you can play her, instead of just kind of like the off angle, picking off the lower health people or punishing runners. I could see her getting played more, and I've been seeing her get played a lot, especially with Strange being more present.
And I certainly don't see them a ton where I'm at, but they're great across the board. And I don't want to make videos just for the top echelon pro players, sweat lords. No, just across the board. Who should you main if you casually play and or you play in the lower elo side of things? And Scarlet Witch is an absolute gem this season. First of all, Doctor Strange, your team up bonus for the most cracked team up. It just is so easy to use. You're about to get a lot more.
I think that's what it is. That the team up is so easy to use. It's not that it's really that great. It's just that it's so easy to use.
Or Doctor Strange's. All the mains that did play him, they're coming back. They're coming back because he's returned, as I just talked about. But also, I mean, you've got auto aim. What else can you ask for? The ultimate can be game saving, and she's very beginner friendly in a lot of the ranks. Not only that, she's good against flyers. She's good against dive. I think she's going to be great here.
So this will be kind of a hot take for me on this one too. I think that Punisher is more beginner friendly than Wanda this season, and that's because Wanda, you still need to learn how to kind of play off angles. So if you start with Punisher, you can kind of play him mid to back line. Playing Wanda that way is not very effective, so you got to play her kind of like almost mid front off angles. So I think that she'll be less beginner friendly, but kind of a step up if you're looking for something a little bit more challenging, because it takes a little bit more knowledge of the environment where the health packs are and stuff to pick up the health packs when you're playing like the off angle Wanda, plus learning how to manage your cooldowns when you're kind of doing a semi dive or a little bit of an off angle push with her. So yeah, I'd say that maybe she's beginner friendly, but to really see her potential is definitely a little bit more, you need a little bit more knowledge of the maps and stuff. So yeah.
You're in this meta, man. I think if you haven't really,
she's also really good at taking care of flyers. If you're willing to burn one of your mobility skills to get airborne, and you can kind of float and take flyers out. Usually the flyers are getting a little bit more used to it now, but usually if it's somebody that's not used to playing a flying character, it will take them off guard and give you ample opportunity to kill them usually before they can even respond.
Really dipped into Scarlet Witch, now might be the season. All right, let's talk Iron Man. Listen, guys, I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay. Iron Man did not receive much of a nerf from losing the Gamma team up. I'll be perfectly honest. He's still in a pretty good spot, and that 5% across the board damage bonus does mean that you can play into both sides of his kit a little bit more. He's not bad, and if you have an Ultron on your team, for the love of God, please play Iron Man. Somebody play Iron Man with Ultron. The amount of games I had Ultron without an Iron Man for that amazing healing beam, it sucked.
Candid here. I'm not sure why we don't see more people playing Tony. This guy he's
exactly
good, man. And you combine that, and I'm going to use this section to talk about Iron Man and Storm. For those wondering, Storm has one of the highest win rate. I think she has the highest one, actually, of all the duelists right now in Rivals. But you're going to have this meta.
Storm is stupid when you know how to play her. I've tried to play her a couple times and was really bad at it. One of my friends on Discord last night told me what I was doing wrong with Storm, and holy cow, that was a game changer.
Well, you've got Ultron, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, but you've got Ultron, who may be weak, but you'll be able to keep these flyers alive with his independent healing, Luna Snow's Snowflake, and just rain down DPS. Groot walls, who gives a damn? You've got Emma Shields, yeah, shoot over it. Doctor Strange, you get it. You know, just kind of, you're going to be able to fly just AC 130 the entire team. But also the ultimate, fantastic. You've got that Luna Snow, finally pops the ultimate, and then bam, you can one-shot her and take care of business and be the hero.
Just the utility of being able to take down Luna Snow's ult is absolutely phenomenal. You think you could do the same thing with Invisible Woman, but shooting blindly into that healing thing is usually what the Iron Man ends up doing. If you fly into Invisible Woman, you can easily nullify Invisible Woman's ult too, but will you live long enough to get the ult off? That's the question.
For your team in whatever rank you're in. As I've alluded to, I think Poke is just going to be so good this season. And Iron Man, he's Dr. Poke. He's the flying, poking hero with his AoE blast and the spell damage that you can rack up. And then Storm, her ultimate got buffed. You got the Sharknado, but you've got that going.
Even with the changes, her ult is really not that good. Without a team up, her ult is not that amazing. I'll be perfectly honest. It's kind of a wet noodle, even with the change. But if you combine it with Johnny or with Jeff, totally different story. Holy cow.
Going on for you as well. And I think both of them together is going to be something we do see a fair amount. All right,
so you can tell with the damage there. That wasn't very impressive. Like, yeah, you'll take out supports.
The rise of the Flyers, you have to have something that keeps them at bay. And oh boy, does Netties love their Hela. Now,
okay, we're just going to skip this part here because it's Hela. Did she need more ammo? Not really. As somebody that's been playing Ultron most of this season already, screw Hela. Yeah, Hela's still good this season. Spoiler alert, Hela's still good. Still really good. She's got a relatively high skill cap as a sniper character to be effective with, but her kit's simple. It's easy to learn. If you've got good accuracy, play Hela. If you have bad accuracy, don't play Hela. Nothing's changed. Hela's Hela.
Next. Now, I'm telling you guys, when you have a family, you've got sons and daughters.
And she's super good against flyers.
You can't have a favorite, right? You can't tell your son you're my favorite. That's what kind of family dynamic.
But boy, can Netties. Oh, boy, can Netties say, hey, you're my favorite, buddy. That's what they've been doing with Hawkeye. This man has received so many damn buffs.
Exactly. All I know is they threw that out the window at Marvel Rivals. They've got their favorites, and it's obvious. You've got Luna, and you've got Hawkeye. And hey, what if we just put them together for a crack team up? Now, Hawkeye...
I hadn't drawn that conclusion. Because yes, their favorite healer is Luna. Luna doesn't get nerfed. She gets buffed. And if anything gets changed as a negative, they increase something else to put her in the same exact place she was before she got nerfed. Why, Netties? Why? And then Hawkeye. And now the most popular, probably the most popular healer is getting a team up with this guy who can now freeze you from across the map.
He's going to lose his anchor bonus, but his DPS is about leveling the same, kind of with the faster charge rate. It's going to feel relatively the same. But you've got a brand new team up that can freeze, go through walls, and he's going to be...
And has unlimited range.
Mr. Dependable in what he's already done great this season. But he's got that good burst damage on top of just being a solid DPS hero. Really, the only bad thing against him and Hela is, yeah, there's going to be more Doctor Strange, but whatever. That
you can freeze Doctor Strange through Doctor Strange's shield and then pop him 2 in the head. You're good. Doesn't affect you.
Beats the hell out of having a Groot wall in your face and you're doing 1 arrow at a time.
Or through the Groot wall.
With the team up, with the damage, Hawkeye, if you know how to aim, I don't know why you're not playing him by now. All right, moving on, we have Squirrel Girl. Now, she's one of my favorites to talk about.
Her nerfs were minor, okay? Her nerfs were minor. They weren't big buffs. Her buffs were minor. Sorry, her buffs were minor. I don't know if in higher elo she just doesn't see play, but in lower elo she's just as annoying, if not more annoying than ever.
Well, because why would I say to main one of the lowest win rate heroes in the game? I don't know if you should, but I will tell you.
She's not low win rate because of the kit. She's low win rate because of the people that play her. Hot take.
If you this kind of defeats the purpose of the video, but if you're if you're diamond rank and below, I think that this hero, just like Penny, is going to absolutely carry. I mean, her ammo now is much better. Her cooldowns is that much faster. You're going to pump out some serious damage, especially to all the people that are going to be playing these shield tanks.
I think her biggest disadvantage is that she tends to kind of feed healer alts on the enemy team. Because she doesn't really have as much execution potential as some other duelist, but she applies pressure, a lot of pressure.
Like Doctor Strange, you're going to be bursting these shields that much easier and then allowing your team to continue to do their job. I think Squirrel's buffs really did help her out, and even though she's not the strongest hero, and she's definitely not going to be played at the highest ranks, if you are more of a casual player, lower rank, or just want to try someone that's going to be pumping out some easy damage, it's Squirrel. Now, to end the Duelist today, again, there's plenty of great ones, and if they're not on this list, it doesn't mean...
Is that Starlord?
They're bad, but we're going to talk about Starlord. Now, listen, guys, Peter, we're on a first-name basis. In Season 1.5 was probably the second or 1B best DPS in the game. And then they toned him down a little bit going into Season 2. And then for whatever reason, they absolutely buffed the hell out of his ultimate. Now, this is great no matter what rank you're in. Low elo, if you aren't the best at aiming, arm up the ultimate. It's that much better. It got a 10-meter increase, which is going to make it way more reliable. It does...
And way harder to get away from.
More damage at a further distance. But then on top of that, if you're great with Starlord at high elo, fantastic. You're going to be able to do just that and continue to dominate. It's crazy that they did give him a buff. He's good against flyers. He's great against flanks. I think he's going to go and return to that spot as a top 3 DPS potentially in Season 2.5. Either way, guys, it's not going to surprise me by any stretch of the imagination if Starlord's back in the top 3 best DPS in the game. All right, guys, we close things off with the Strategist. Now, first up,
looking at this, I know what most of them are. I'm questioning some of his choices here.
Up is clearly and obviously the best 2, but first we're going to talk about Luna Snow. All right, Luna, how do I...
It takes her longer to get her ult. Her primary attack does more damage and more healing. She is the chosen one. She is the chosen child, the golden child. She will always be the golden child. We're just gonna... Oh, and they buffed her freeze ability. Yeah, she's good. She's really good. Learn how to play Luna. Let's see what he's
that proved not to be all that big of an importance, and in fact, he's still one of the best strategists right there with Luna. If Luna's not banned and you have Loki, congrats, you're gonna reign like crazy. Now, Moon Knight's great in kind of that low mid.
What's so good about him is he can use Luna's ult or Cloak's ult. Like, the ability to steal ults is really good with him. He's got good healing output and everything. He's one of the harder healers to take out because of his ability to move around so freely. He's a little bit higher skill cap, and you need to learn how to heal on him. A lot of people tend to DPS on him and think all of his healing's passive for some reason, even in like gold. Yeah. In gold and below, seeing a Loki on your team, not necessarily something you're happy about half the time.
Elo to keep Loki more in check, but Loki's still the guy to beat. And I'm telling you, I've been encouraging this now, and I think I've had Loki in this section alongside Luna.
I agree. He's a really good healer, though. It's just you need to learn how to heal on him before you pick him as a support.
For season, and I'm going to keep having him here until they do something about it. Loki is just too good at keeping his team alive with his lanterns, and his kit is built to be such a high skill ceiling that you're always going to get better. I've dumped in hours and hours of my life into Loki, and I'm still getting better on the hero. Really, outside of the skill ceiling, there's nothing that should be holding you back from learning the God of Mischief.
Also a character I want to get better at playing.
Okay, let's talk about Rocket Raccoon.
All hail Rocket, the second golden child. Well, I don't know about that. Rocket's in a good spot, though.
So Rocket got the Jeff treatment going into season 2. People were mad, but it turns out he's pretty busted. So busted that they had to give him a nerf. And spoiler, even though he lost his Punisher team up, he's still fantastic. And with Penny Parker having a great team up as
The team up with Penny Parker is so good.
well, you're now going to have a little bit more protection to your BRB device.
And you could also use that BRB device to stack up mines. So when somebody goes to try to dive you like Iron Fist, you can just fly over to that and have the Iron Fist follow you into the pack of mines. Bye-bye, Iron Fist.
And his healing is still amongst some of the highest within Rivals. Rocket does everything you want in a strategist, and he's just so easy to play. If you're one of those people that, you need to flex the strategy.
He also has some of the best close range burst damage for the survivalist, or for the strategist. He's really good at bursting down tanks that go over aggro.
Strategist because you don't have one on your team and you're thinking to yourself, or you have a teammate that's like, I don't play strategist, I'm not good at it, which is just a lie. Rocket is the most such an easy experience. Brain off, win on, definitely one that you should be playing more of if you haven't already. He actually has surprisingly pretty good poke, good survivability, can keep himself alive, his mobility is still there, and now his ultimate is just always charged up. You're going to get that ultimate all the time, which makes him great for just getting that extra push on the objective.
I will say this, Ultron is really good at destroying deployables. So that was kind of a nerf to Rocket in that regard. Ultron can like 3-shot Rocket's ultimate. Ultron's also really good at taking out the squids, spider nest, stuff like that. He seems to be able to excel at that because they're stationary targets, so he gets the full, all the little beams plus the big beam burst at the end. So Ultron's really good at taking care of that stuff. So something to keep in mind for you Rocket players out there is you might want to put that behind a wall.
And to end things, guys, fun little fact. Who has the highest win rate across all the strategists at the highest ranks in the game? It's Rocket. All right, listen up, guys. This is for the, again, middle of the pack players, not the sweat lords, but those that want to be able to play strategists at a high level. Another fun fact, guys, I'm full of them today.
Okay, Cloak is really good. But things you need to not do while you're playing Cloak and Dagger. DPS as Cloak. Okay, as long as you don't DPS as Cloak, you'll be doing really good as Cloak and Dagger. Yes, you do a lot of damage with the beam as Cloak. But as Dagger, if you're shooting at somebody as Dagger that is damaging either you or your ally, it's going to do almost as much damage as that beam. Plus heal everybody around said target. Just saying, because there's a lot of Cloaks and Daggers out there that play 50% of their time in Cloak. You should be jumping into Cloak, using your Shadow Wall or your invisibility trick to cloak your team for an enemy ultimate. You should not be staying in Cloak and shooting the Cancer Beam. The Cancer Beam's not good. I mean, it's good, but it's not efficient use of your time.
Cloak and Dagger, Platinum and below, is the best strategist in terms of win rate and is one of the most picked strategists within the game. If you're a console player, she's an auto pick. I mean, that just is a non-negotiable. And if you're on PC, she's still great. I don't know why people like...
She's got a pretty high ban rate in gold.
To associate her with being bad. She's way better in low elo because of, again, just the brain off mentality. Listen, guys, people play Cloak and Dagger for a reason. Her game flow and just the way that her gameplay loop works, and the heal bubble into the heal curtain into going into Cloak, terror caping, maybe doing some damage, is so
Forget he said that last part.
Incredibly simple and fun that I don't know why, if you haven't played Strategist or if this is the season you want to try it.
By the way, for Strategist, I main Cloak.
You're not
just saying.
Playing Cloak and Dagger. Very simple to understand. The bubble is insane in terms of abilities. Right up there with Loki, just not talked about enough. Platinum and below, you're looking at the best strategist within the game and makes it very simple to understand as long as you know how to do good positioning. And then even above that, people like to say she's not great. She is. I don't know what to tell you. She's still one of the better strategists within the game. Really, the only thing is when...
And really learn how to use your ult effectively.
Magneto ults just like run like hell. And we're going to end today by talking about Ultron. Now,
this season, I'm trying to main Ultron for my support pick. I'm trying to main Ultron, Strange, and probably Namor.
Is Ultron good?
I main Namor for my Duelist last season, though.
Listen, we have to wait and see.
but I really like the extended range on his squiddies.
To see how he fits into the general ladder. Do I think he can be good? Yes. Do I think he needs 3 supports on the same team? Also, yes. Do I think, I'm going to keep doing this, he'll get a patch mid-season?
If you brought his team up with Iron Man to baseline, I think he'd be pretty good. Maybe still a 3rd support, but I don't know. I want him to be able to do dual support at higher elo, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
If he's not good, you betcha. I think Ultron is...
He does crank out a lot of healing numbers, though, passively.
Gonna have a place in this game, and even if he's not good, screw him, man. It's Ultron. I mean, you've been waiting to play this guy, and I think he's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun to use. I think he's one of the better duo healers. If Luna's banned, you can pick Ultron, put a drone on your carry DPS. Maybe it's a Storm. You guys kind of head off together, maybe Iron Man, and you flank the team. You can burst through the middle of the team. You can fly above them and rain hell on.
If you've got a really good tank and a really good second support, he does do really good at supporting the back line.
I think people are underestimating the fact that he can fly is a pretty big deal, and you're going to be able to do a lot of sustain, survivability, and a good chunk of healing while also putting out respectable damage. But should you play him? The simple answer is it doesn't matter, because
probably not. You're probably not going to get to pick him for that matter. But yeah, I don't know. At lower elo, you don't need 3 supports. But like, please, before you go into even quick play, go play some bot matches with him and figure out how his kit works.
everybody's going to auto lock.
If the bot support on your team is out healing you, keep going. You're not there yet.
Him anyway when he's first released, so you might as well be the one that does that. Again, guys, this is just my list, right? Feel free to play whatever you want to play.
What do you guys think? What are your number one choices like for best support, best Vanguard, best Duelist this season? For me, I think the best support still Luna, honestly. Luna and Rocket, I definitely agree with him. They're probably two of the strongest like baseline supports. I think Adam's in a good spot too, but Adam's more of like your third support kind of guy. As far as duelists go, I think Punisher's in a really, really good spot this season. I think Storm is in a good spot if you have Jeff. Honestly, I think Jeff is in a good place right now. Hot take, I'm probably going to do a video reacting to somebody's take on Jeff, and I'm probably going to be playing devil's advocate in that video because I think Jeff is in a good place right now. But yeah, Storm, if you've got like Johnny or Jeff, even though Johnny's got nerfed pretty hard. So Namor's in a good spot because he's less reliant on the team up with Bruce. I think Namor's in a good spot. Hawkeye is in an amazing place right now. If you're good at aiming, Hawkeye, Hela. If you're not that good at aiming, Punisher, Namor, Wanda. I agree with all those there. Vanguards, Emma's in a good spot. Strange is in a good spot. I think Hulk could use a little bit more love, but Hulk is still in a good spot with that Namor team up. Really helps. It allows him to be more aggressive because Namor can cover the flank and cover the back line more with that team up. And Penny's in an interesting position. I think Thor's not in a bad place either. I think Thor has more potential now than he probably did before, at least at lower elo. Probably need to look at his kit a little bit more, but I think he's getting there. So anyways, guys, let me know in the comment section down below which one of the supports or duelist or vanguards you're planning on maining in season 2.5 and why. Also, I will be leaving a link to Cozy's video in the video description down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content we're putting out here. Also, there's a couple videos on the right for you to check out if you're looking for something else to watch. See you guys in the next video.